Welcome back to PCW, where today we are reviewing WWE Smackdown. After another wealth of WWE releases from some big names, you would expect Smackdown to suffer from something of a hangover. It did not. In fact, it continued to be the strongest show that WWE has produced, with continual ongoing interesting storylines and one key storyline that dominates the entirety of proceedings. I'm Tom Collique for PCW. Don't forget to click like and subscribe if you haven't, and let's get started with the review. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman opened the show, coming down to the ring with pyro and with some fireworks, and essentially stating to Jay and Jimmy Uso, "I've had a change of heart, I've decided this is okay, but you'd better win." Jay and Jimmy did come down after being challenged, and Roman demanded that this match happen now. Good thing everyone was in their ring gear then. It's almost like this was planned in some way. The match itself was very good and a great start to the show. Dominick Mysterio had some very good moments here, with Rey Mysterio building to a hot tag in which Dominick would burst in, hit some strong offense, but the Usos would continue to dominate basically throughout the match. It was very clear who the number one tag team here was, and it wasn't the tag team champions. The Mysterios might be transitional at best, but ultimately this is very good experience for Dominick. The match unfortunately ended on a slight misstep. Jimmy Uso came off the top to try and attack Dominick. Dominick got his knees up, a bit of an awkward attempt at a roll up, and it was a 1-2-3 despite the fact that Jimmy Uso got his shoulder really far up. Like really far up. A very good moment for the Mysterios, an endorsement of their championship reign, but we'll see how this goes going forwards. Jimmy Uso, of course, was not pinned cleanly, and throughout the entire night we will see references to that as Roman convinces Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville bit by bit to let them have another match tonight. Backstage, Roman continued to be his dominant self, saying to Jimmy and Jay that they lost to a child, and then pretending to be confused as to which one was Jay and which one was Jimmy. This is powerful stuff from Roman. Kayla Braxton tried to interview Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins just walked off. We learned a lot. In a recurrent backstage segment, the Street Profits were approached first by Chad Gable, who wanted to give them extra training, then by Otis, who was insulted that they didn't want extra training and decided to go on the attack, and finally, late on in the night just before the main event, the Street Profits showed a much more serious side, which was actually very impactful, stating that they were not happy with Gable and Otis whatsoever and that this would come down to the ring. It's nice to see the rest of the tag teams getting some focus here. We've seen a lot of Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. They were not featured. Instead, the Usos and the Mysterios fought, and it looks like we're going to get the Profits versus Otis and Gable. This is a very strong tag division all of a sudden. Carmella wrestled Liv Morgan and won by tap out in about 2 minutes. The majority of the match was Liv Morgan focused. She did look very good in that 2 minutes, but ultimately it was 2 minutes and it was a win by tap out. Liv Morgan, because there's only 7 women left in SmackDown, has been very clearly defined as the bottom of the ladder in this loss. However, this was mostly about Carmella, who gets the win here and looks moderately good. They were definitely trying to establish her character even more to leave her as an option available for Bianca Belair in the near future. There is, after all, no one else. Backstage, the Mysterios were shown trying to leave the building, but just as they were about to leave, they were caught by Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, who said, "Nah, you gotta defend the tag team championships again in the main event." Rey Mysterio not happy. Dominick Mysterio, he was up for it. The perils of youth run very strong in that one, and it's actually very good characterization. For the second hour draw segment, Bianca Belair came down to the ring and challenged Bayley to a wrestling match. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Bayley, in response, did an impression of the Wicked Witch of the West, doing a mighty cackle and appearing on every screen in the Thunderdome. I hated it. Shinsuke Nakamura took on Baron Corbin one more time. This time the entrance, played by Rick Boogs, actually took longer than the entire match, which lasted about 2 minutes. Corbin got the win here with a cover which actually looked like it could put someone down for an actual 3 count, which is also something Nakamura has done recently. So these two are finding ways to beat each other, but nothing is particularly conclusive. This is a feud I should hate. They're literally fighting over headgear. They're constantly having rematches, and yet I quite enjoy it. Apollo Crews defended the Intercontinental Championship against Kevin Owens, with Commander Aziz barred from ringside. Commander Aziz, however, was not barred from the arena, so backstage he beat the hell out of Kevin Owens, apparently caused an injury which Kevin Owens then took down to the ring with him. Apollo Crews still only just able to get the win over Kevin Owens despite the backstage attack. Not a great look for Apollo Crews, but having Kevin Owens in the Intercontinental Championship scene is a very good look for the Intercontinental Championship scene. After the match, Sami Zayn ran down to the ring literally past Apollo Crews to attack Kevin Owens with a haluva kick and essentially continue their feud. I did used to think I would never get bored of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I'm starting to think I might have been wrong. Finally, in our main event, we had a rematch between the Mysterios and the Usos. This time there was a lot less focus on the Usos looking dominant, and instead it was the Mysterios who looked the better for the majority of the match. Now, before this, in the WWE preview, they asked the question, who attacked Rey Mysterio backstage? Apparently nobody knows, but it may have been Roman, because at the end of this match Roman Reigns appeared to hit a Superman punch on Dominick, who was on the top rope at the time and went flying off. Roman Reigns basically beat the crap out of both men, shouting at the Usos and saying to them, you weren't going to get the job done. This leaves me somewhat hopeful that we're about to get a Roman Reigns Rey Mysterio plan, or at least some sort of program between Roman and Dominick. It'd be very good for Dominick to be involved with Roman at this level, even if it's just as a manager to his father. The finale of the show was Jimmy Uso walking away, Jey Uso motioning to walk away before Roman got very close and stopped him. This abusive relationship continues. SmackDown this week, as last week, was a very good show. The main reason for that being the coherent story around Roman Reigns, but also we saw some progress in the tag team scene when it came to Otis and Chad Gable and the Street Profits. That was very entertaining for me. We actually saw Liv Morgan wrestle. We saw Kevin Owens attempting to elevate the Intercontinental title scene, and Shinsuke Nakamura and Baron Corbin continues to be an oddly compelling feud. I don't feel right enjoying it, and yet I do. The big miss, of course, was Big E, who was supposed to be starting a program with Aleister Black, but now Big E is completely lost in the wasteland because that is creative hiatus written all over it. I don't think a big push is going to be happening for Big E anytime soon. For PCW, I've been Tom Collier. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you next time.